Well, hello everybody and welcome back to another video on FTB integration by parts. How you guys doing? Now, as you can see, we have the jetpack actually working this time and costing us a lot of energy. So let's just land. Okay. And we are now gonna be moving into this factory today. And I did do a couple of things. First of all, we're actually going to be using a little bit more of this tower as well. Like as I showed you on last episode, we do have these amazing cable areas, and you can see I already set up a few things down here. So we have a couple geothermal generators linked up to this ender tank. This ender tank was actually a reward for one of the quest lines. Don't quite remember which one. Oh, the warp plates. Yeah, the warp plates gave me these, and I got two ender tanks. I got one right here, and the other one is just right here. Where is this? Well, this is near the docks because I needed power for this. And what do I have over here? Well, here I have a drawer with a bunch of netherrack, which is then feeding into some item users, which is then right-clicking netherrack into light wells, which is converting, as you guys can see, netherrack into lava. And then the lava is getting poured into the ender tank. Now, this isn't amazing because these guys are not crazy fast producing lava, but it's actually been able to keep up with what we are doing, because I also moved all of our machines up here. You have the furnace, the macerator, compressor, extruder, centrifuge, roller, and the canning machine, and we have these guys hooked up as well. So if anything I put into this barrel gets into the macerator, which then goes into the furnace, which then goes into the barrel. So this setup is going to be perfect for us to actually keep moving, because these guys are actually able to keep up with the power that we need. And we have two battery boxes just so we can have like a backup of power. But I've tested this with the macerator and the furnace on, and these guys are actually able to keep up with everything that's going on. Which then brings me back to the factory. I did just complete, which took quite a while, I'm not gonna lie, this thing right here. Yes, we now have access to the metal empowerer, which is basically going to be what this starting building is going to be for. I want to have the metal empowerer right here in the middle, and I have the things around it actually working towards it. Now I do have this here, which looks a little bit off. I'm still gonna redesign this. Don't worry, it doesn't look great, but it's functional. What is this? Well, this has a block breaker, and you can see I have a drawer with sand. This is using lava, and if I break this guy right here, yep, you can see is using some liquid starlight. Now what is this doing? Well, liquid starlight plus lava equals sand, and then the block breaker is actually breaking things. I have it powered off at the moment, but yeah, as you can see we have 15 stacks. If I click here, you can see, yeah, it's going up. And the only issue with this is that the way that this is set up, a lot of sand will eventually start flying everywhere because the hopper gets filled up and it's not quite able to yep, as you saw, that one's just landed in the lava. Yeah, so even though this is fully closed, the hopper is just not fast enough, so it's going to take a while to actually deal with this. But this is an easy way of getting tons and tons of sand. So now with all that sand, I just hooked it up to this smelter right here. I have it pouring down to make me some clear glass. So that means that if I move the power over there, which means these guys are actually not quite doing anything up here, are they? So I'm gonna repurpose them into a quarry somewhere quite far away from here, because I don't want to mess up with the layout that we have going on. So maybe if I just open up the map, I guess we'll find a pretty good flat area, and we're just gonna dig it out. Maybe even here we could dig out this meteor or something like that. But the quarry points are all good and that, but we gotta go and start things over here. Now I do have a little bit of a concern with this, is that I cannot rotate this machine. It says it's complex and I can't rotate it, which is a shame, but at least we can place it down, right? And I'm thinking something like this, like 3 blocks away from here. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So something like that. There we go. So it's 3 blocks away from there, and as you can see, this is a pretty beefy thing, and it kind of requires a bunch of things. I believe this is output. Yes, and has energy input, it has fluid input, and it also has item input. And now that we have this bad boy, and of course as soon as we actually get it to work, we can now progress and start making some cool things, you know. So the first one is actually this compressor, which requires some empowered steel. Now this guy takes some steel, takes some infused redstonium crystals, takes a lot of power, and it also takes empowered oil. Now empowered oil is one of the things that we do still need to automate, which we didn't. It basically initially requires seed oil, which we can automate by just simply melting a couple of flax seeds, and this will give us seed oil. And then we will need to make crystallized flax seeds as well, which then requires more flax seeds to be energized in an energizing orb, and then we get the crystallized flax seeds. Now these guys are tossed into seed oil to make the crystallized oil, and then the crystallized oil, if you take a look here, not this one, not this one, not this one, this one, yep, we'll take empowered flax seeds to be empowered oil, and the empowered flax seeds actually need this thing, which is bad, because ideally we will make this thing, the crafting board. Now this guy takes empowered aluminum and the black iron ingots. I don't even know how to make, obtained by having an hostile mob spawn on a block of iron. How am I gonna do this? I don't know, but I guess we'll try and find a way to automate that, because we need that. What else? Luminescence. I don't have none of these. I don't have this. I don't have this thing. This thing is way too expensive. It's actually not that bad as soon as we get to, of course, the moon. Now for every bucket of 100 powered or 1000 in powered oil, we can do 10 recipes, which is 10 steel ingots and 10 infused redstonium crystals. Now I would love to automate this, but I believe we do need this machine in order to automate this thing. So this is quite a little bit off until we somehow manage to get this black iron, but until then we can actually do this by hand. Now the next issue is we have no power, and this takes 80,000 per one of these empowered steels. So yeah, we need power here. How am I gonna get power into here? We have some power over there, but I could either just remove it or just send it over there. Actually just reroute it from there to here. Even move what we have over here, this small setup that we have over here with these thermoelectric generators, or we could even make more. Well, it doesn't look great, but it's functional. What do we have? Well, we have a couple of water wheels. Yep, that's right. We have one water wheel on each side, as you guys can see. They do give a significant amount of power. I kind of thought they weren't that great, but they are pretty good. As you can see, it's going up pretty fast, and it's already like cooking. Or it already did actually a recipe, did it? Yeah, did it? Oh god, it only did one empowered. So we're about to make 10. We just need to give this thing time. I also placed around a few feral flare lanterns, which will slowly start to light up the place. I also moved then my villagers into here, and we do have a couple of very good ones. So this guy is of course LV wire, MV wire, and HV wire. Pretty good, plus some other things. This dude right here gives us water wheel segments, and I still don't have the last upgrade, or I don't think the last one is actually pretty good. This is like his best trade, and this one of course, the steel mechanical components. So we might get another one to see if he actually sells the iron one, which I believe we can still get. We have this guy right here, which sells treated wood, and we can actually buy him or sell him sticks. We can buy concrete and steel scaffolding, which is pretty good. And you can also buy a mineral deposit for uraninite, which we might do later down the line. And of course, we have our amazing fisherman, which is our source of emeralds. I don't think they're kind of linked up somehow. I don't believe this guy linked up to this thing. For some reason, we might just try and get him to link again, because he's not cooperating. He's not like refreshing his trades. Now that's sad. Did the other guys refresh? This guy did refresh, I think. And but yeah, so this guy is probably linking up to some other block. I don't really know which one. It should be linking up to this one. We'll fix him when we need to. And thanks to our new machine, we can now grab ourselves a compressor, which is the first machine that we need in order to start thinking of going to space, which means we can now try and make this guy right here the NASA workbench, which takes more empowered steel, it takes empowered silver and empowered gold and an advanced circuit. This is actually pretty simple, I think. It's only just need to make a couple of these, I think, with duskstone, which we do not have. HV cables, just gold and rubber, not really complicated. The advanced alloys, though, I did make a bunch of them, so we should be able to do all of this pretty simple. This guy takes silver and lapis, okay, and this guy takes iron and gold, okay. Well, kind of wanted to continue with this guy over here, but we can't. I need to gather a lot of resources to kind of get this thing up and going so we can actually move up to the NASA workbench. But I think we should do a little bit of a detour, which is going to be very important, which is with the plant sower and with the plant gatherer. Now these little two together and actually going to start our farms. Now we do have farms, you know, but manual farms. This is not by far a good setup, and we need to farm tons and tons of flax, wheat, potatoes, pumpkins, all different types of things. And plus we can also farm these guys right here, these essences. They're also pretty great to farm. So there's a couple of ways that we could do this. Now I need to check if the plant gatherer breaks the item, because if it breaks the item, well, then we gotta replant it. And if we're gonna have to replant it, it means one plant gatherer and one plant sower per seed. So this rubber seed is 2 machines, aluminum +2, aquamarine +2, wheat +2, flax +2, ham +2. You see where I'm going with this, right? We could basically, the more fields we want, the more machines we're gonna need. And there we go, I made a plant sower and a plant gatherer, and if I collect all the quests, we should get, yes, another one of each, plus some PD machine frames and some treated wood for some reason. Well, this setup, not perfect, but it's functional, So the plant sower is 1 block underneath there. We do have the flax seed over here, and we have the plant gatherer. Now everything has power coming directly from there. We have an ender hopper picking up every single item that basically goes around here. We could do better if we just use an accumulator, but that's some more resources. As you can see, if we toss a bunch of items into this area, the accumulator, when it actually has his tick, picks up the items, which is good. So we can have a small supply of items right here. Now I do need to sort this, so I can have flax things maybe into a drawer, like so. For example, 1 drawer right here that would eventually be void upgraded, and then the seeds, they actually need to go back into the planter and then into another drawer, which then we are going to be using in the fluid collector and the fluid placer, which I can actually go ahead and maybe place here. So this is the collector, so we're gonna stay that way. Whoops, not like that. And he just vanished into here. Okay, there we go. See, that guy works. And of course, a little bit more crafting. I got myself some infused lapisium, aaronium, and diamodium. And we should now be able to just go over onto this side and put, like, for example, this in. The machine should now start working. Yes. And I also am working on trying to fully automate this area right here, where of course the plant grows. This guy gathers it, this guy picks it up. This guy will need to be replaced by another item to pick things a little bit better and more efficiently. But I'm also just completely changing my mind and just making a massive farm with flax, and then I'll mine it by hand, and then I'll just do all of this recipe by hand, because this is actually not that bad. For example, I just used some and it only takes like 100 per recipe. so it's not really that crazy of a process to do by hand. So if it was a little bit crazier, maybe I could invest, but this setup just seems a little bit way too complicated for something you could just like this area, not this one. I'll probably try and automate a little bit better, but this area right here seems way too complicated for what it actually needs to be. And after a little bit more crafting to make these advanced circuits, we now can maybe, yes, we got the NASA's workbench. We're one step closer of going into space. Now this bad boy of course still needs us to make the entire rocket, and I think, yeah, we need empowered lead here and empowered gold. And here it's actually pretty simple. This we need empowered steel, which we have, and of course we need quite a decent amount of invar. So we gotta go and make more invar, and we need a total of 8 empowered steel plus 2 lead and 1 gold. And I think the rest is pretty much just steel, and we were able to get the tier 1 rocket. Now of course it's not gonna work on its own. Oh, they actually give us some steel things. Okay, that's pretty good. We still need the fuel refinery, and we still need to make the oxygen loader. As you can see, these guys are also a little bit expensive, so there's a little bit more crafting that needs to go into this. Well, reality just hit me right now, because I was taking a look at the recipes. I did the fuel refinery as well, so I was going for this boy, the oxygen loader, but well, as you guys can see, it takes a little bit more empowered aluminum, which I'm making, and this guy, the iron engine, takes empowered lead, and empowered lead takes infused emeraldium. Now this guy actually takes elven quartz, which means quartz sent through the elven gateway, so we need to make the elven gateway from Botania. And we're not really good with man at the moment. So yeah, that's that. Oh yeah, sure, why not? Fuel loader also needs empowered lead, empowered copper. How bad could this be? Not that bad, actually not that bad. I think I have everything to make this, but I don't have to make the empowered lead. Okay. Okay, so I thought I just did another roadblock where I was just switching up to do a little bit more of Astral, but apparently not. So basically, I'm trying to go for this, the Celestial Altar, because this is actually going to start unlocking me a couple extra things, apparently, because it says it also opens up more Botania, because I think it opens up... yeah, it just opens up this quest line, so we can actually start progressing through this, and it gives us these, which they're going to be pretty helpful, the Mansteel Seeds. So I definitely want to start going into this, so we can actually do this thing over here, and we do actually Terra Steel, so we can then make the portal, because this is crazy, but apparently to do this we need this Stardust. But Stardust, the only recipe that it's shown is with a pulverizer. The pulverizer is way off, like way off. It needs dash. Well, it's actually dash the only thing that's really stopping me, I guess. But yeah, we don't have dash, but apparently all we need is a star metal cutting tool and your ingot. So I think you just toss it in the floor and you punch it. Oh, there you go. So you gotta right punch it. Oh, we got more than one. Oh, that's pretty good. And so we now have everything ready. We just need nighttime basically, but yeah, it should be close. Yeah, it's kind of close. Nighttime it is, and this is breaking. Are you breaking? I don't know what's happening here. There we go. We made it. We now have the Celestial Altar. Now I think we do still need to break it. Yep. But the quest line gets, well, done, and we get a couple cool rewards. Now this guy actually needs a bigger area. I believe we checked. It needs a 11 by 11 area. I don't know if I can fit it here. Maybe if I push it over to a corner, maybe I can do it. And with the upgraded version, we actually have some better crafting recipes. Now, it is trying to go for the corners. I think it's trying to reach extra starlight. Yeah, so it makes the things faster, but it still does it anyway. And we have this, a starlight infuser. Also gives us a couple gold seeds and a pretty good fluid tank, not gonna lie. Which is just gonna go back to this guy. We're just gonna put it over here for now because we don't really need it. But yeah, now with access to this guy, has a bunch of cool recipes here. As you can see, we can even turn one single ancient debris into 2 netherite scrap. We can turn aquamarine into resonating gems, which we'll probably have to do in just a second. We can turn blaze into more blaze powder, and as you can see, there's a plethora of different recipes. And we can also infuse these items, as you guys can see. For example, I don't really know what the shovel does, but yeah, the swords. The sword is also pretty interesting to do, and you can make these with these attune rocks, so we can probably do one real quick. Now, with the starlight infuser in place, you just need to fill all these gaps with liquid starlight, and the best way to see the build like itself is actually through the book. You can see it also has a block of lapis down at the bottom, so don't forget about that, which is directly below the item itself, the infuser. And then you have all of these things that you need to put together, and then you need to fill in these gaps with liquid starlight. Now, this will allow you to actually make some better recipes. For example, we do have this, which I'm not sure if it's gonna work. It is working. Okay, so this guy actually works, which is hopefully, yes, gonna make me this. And this is the normal glass lenses, which we were using a bunch of aquamarine before. Now we don't need. We can actually just use liquid starlight to do this. We can also use the auto infusion, but we still don't have that upgrade to this guy. And there's this dude here, quite annoying, so I might just kill him. But there's something you need to pay attention to, and I'm actually just gonna go and fix that for me. And that is, when you're using this to craft anything, like anything at all, the liquid starlight may be used up, but as you can see, nothing was used up in this recipe right now. For example, if we put an aquamarine in here and we put wait, isn't this supposed to do stuff? Or maybe it actually consumed something and I'm not seeing it. Ah, there we go. It is fixed now. It actually didn't consume anything. I just forgot I had to use the wand. There you go. Let's just place these two back. And we got ourselves a resonating gem. None got consumed, which is pretty good. And why did I want this? I wanted this because I want to make something called the tree beacon. So here we go. This is the recipe, and if we do this, oh, we're still waiting for this to actually accumulate some starlight. Hold on. And of course, the sword we made, we can also infuse it with this ritual magic, whatever this is. But of course, it's going to consume the entire thing. Why? Because this is a pretty interesting sword. So yeah, basically every single enchantment or infusion you do into a tool, it gives it a different aspect or something else. And this one to the sword gives 5 added critical chance. So you normally have 0 critical chance, but by hitting normally, you now will have a chance of actually critically striking. And of course, if you're flying, you'll always be critically striking enemies, so that's something. But you know, if you're just out fighting, you can do normal crits, which can be pretty handy. So we are now making a couple of astral relays because we need to go for this, the attunement crystal, which takes 1 astral, 2 star metal, and some aquamarine, and we do have everything with us, so that's pretty easy. So 4 of these, and that's pretty much it. I think we already have literally everything. So if we just do this, yep, and we do this, magic, come here and do your thing. But yeah, guys, I did say we needed a more or a better income of resources, you know, and yeah, we had the quarry for that, and well, yeah, it's up and running. Just put these guys around Y120 or something, close to that, and they're now powering a 5 overclocked quarry. It's going pretty good, as you guys can see. It's making quite a dent in this area. But of course there's still a lot of stone here, and I don't really want all this stone, so I'm putting it into this drawer. It already has 111 stacks, so I kind of need a void upgrade on here, and we'll be collecting tons and tons of resource, hopefully. So we did just get a bunch of coal, so I'm gonna take this coal with me because I kind of need that coal. Marble, I'll take that marble as well. Of course this dirt can still be voided as well, but what I really want is the bauxites, the nickel, the coals, the irons, all those good things. I want all of that. So we also needed a little bit more space for this tournament altar, so yeah, we kind of moved into here because there is like a bunch of space here, and I didn't quite know what to do with it. Well, now I know. Now I don't really know what I can do with this, if I could just toss it or something, but I believe we should just put it there. We could activate it. Oh, there we go. So this is how we do it. I just found out a constellation. I found Ayavitas. So basically, just put a telescope down and you look at the sky. Oh, there it is. Up there in the sky. Oh, that's pretty cool. And then you just kind of look for it. If you scroll around the area, you'll find these brighting stars. Now I believe this one is actually this one, so you can take a look at how it looks, and then you just kind of dot the area together, and you should be able to learn the constellation. There you go, the Cydia, which means you can now continue to look for the other ones. If you shift right click the book though, it actually has a space for you to store your constellations, which is pretty cool. So I'm just gonna go through these ones and see if I can find all of the ones I have actually. So I believe now, aha, there we go, exactly. Now if I approach the attunement altar, you can see that yeah, we do have some glowing spots, and this is where you place astral relays. Just like so, and I believe as soon as I place all of them, they should link up together. Yes, and now we can actually attune ourselves. So let's try and do this. Oh, it's not gonna work. Oh wait, do I need the constellation papers in the hand? Well, probably. No? Wait, why did it disappear? Oh, don't tell me that. Oh, it's getting daytime. Okay, there we go, another night. So hopefully this worked. There we go. Okay, now we can actually go ahead and do this. We are now getting attuned to Vicio. Now this will give us a couple of perks, mainly movement speed. I think that's like the best option we can get out of this. But what I really want to do afterwards is attune a crystal. I want to tune a crystal so we can have a crystal collector. Oh, there we go. I can see the light now. The light, I can see it. Can I right click or toss this? Oh yes, I can toss the crystal into there and it will get attuned to Vicio as well. Now what's the good thing about this is that if we go here, we now have perks. Look at this, looks like I'm playing Path of Exile, but I'm not. Now we do have perks. Now I'll get into those when we get some levels, but right now I just want this crystal. And this looks crazy. Oh, there we go. It is now done. We do have a Vicio crystal. So let's go ahead and just grab onto this Vicio crystal because I want to make a crystal collector. I don't believe I can search for the recipe here. Nope, no. Yeah, but we can do like this one, for example. The Vicio crystal collector collects starlight from Vicio. So I believe I gotta go into the attunement, crystal attunement. Oh, this is what we just did. There you go. Here's the recipe I want. We want the collector crystal, and this guy takes some stardust, some resonating gems, and some illumination powder, which is pretty easy to do. And there we go. A collector crystal. Hopefully this works. I really hope it does. And we got a Visio collector crystal. Now this is not entirely needed for what we're gonna do, but it really helps. So you might be wondering, why did we need all of this? Well, because I want to make a tree farm, and more exactly a rubber wood tree farm, so we can have a little bit of a rubber stockpile automated being done, and then we can switch up this so we can actually turn the wood into charcoal, and that charcoal be turned into mana from Botania. Now to do such a thing, we need this tree beacon, and if you place it down, you can see the range that he has, which is a pretty forgiving range, so it's pretty good. I'm actually gonna move it so it looks a little bit more in line with this, and apparently I duplicated it somehow. I don't really know how that happened, but okay. But I'm just gonna move like 4 blocks to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks to the side. And this should give me a good amount. I'm actually gonna change the layout here. I'm actually gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm gonna go something like this. Because out here in the front, I want to put a chest with an ender hopper and probably some drawers. Yeah, probably some drawers. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to bone meal one of these trees. And you can see the tree actually looks a lot different, and you can already see that there's some logs pumping out. They're already being picked up by this, so I guess we can hook this guy up like this as well. So we now have an automated farm. Now there is some things we can do to make this thing pretty good, you know. We can grow more trees, and this will actually start pulling from more trees. And we can also just grab ourselves our linking tool, put, for example, our collector crystal, and link it to there, like this. Linked collector crystal to the tree pick, and there we go. Which means now this guy is gonna have a lot more energy going into him, as you can see, and it's gonna hopefully start producing more and more logs. Now I do believe that it kind of depends on if the constellation's in the sky, so there's that, but nevertheless we have automated rubber wood, which is pretty cool, and this works for every single tree you have. But you know what, guys, is with all that magic and all that automation that I have still to do back in the factory here, then we're gonna have to end it up for today. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, and see ya in the next one. Bye.